So this is a different kind of video. This one's going to discuss, should you buy recasts? So I wanted to kind of share my history with recasts and resin in general, and the several different sources and what you may or may not like. Now in front of me I've got two models, both made of resin, both available in Forge World. I have a giant Chaos Spawn, and he's painted up quite nicely. And then I have a Daredeo Dreadnought. Same thing. I've painted him up. These are earlier models I did before. They're not up to super snuff, but I think they look good. So one of them is directly from Forge World, and one of them is a recast that I got on the internet. Now, I'm not sure if you can tell which one's which, but the Daredeo is actually a direct Forge World purchase, whereas this is a recast out of China that I got on eBay. Now, I'm pretty happy with they both look very good. I play them both in the stores. I use the Daredeo more regularly than I do the giant Chaos Spawn, just because as far as unit goes, he's just not that good. But he is pretty intimidating, and he works as a great distraction Carnifex. But the Daredeo I do enjoy quite a bit, which is why I sourced out another one. So when it comes to recasts and whether you want to purchase them or not, there's about 4 things you have to keep in mind. So you have to kind of consider the morality of buying a knockoff. You have to consider the cost. You have to consider the risk. And you have to consider the time that it's going to take. So what do I mean by all of these things? Well, we'll start with the morality, because if you're watching this video, you've already kind of come to terms with some sort of morality as far as copyright infringement goes, and sort of treading over your intellectual property rights and things like that. And we've all had the discussion about Warhammer and Forge World and pricing guides and the way they price things and how much do you pay for a piece of plastic, and that discussion's been had a gajillion times. But there's a secondary argument here, and it's your local game store. When you buy a model like this, you're only buying it once. So if you play at this game store every weekend for a couple hours, the store doesn't make anything off of you. And if you've done your purchase on the internet and then brought the units to the store really made nothing and then entertains you for several hours each week. So it's really nice to give them their cut. That said, there are many models that the game store can't get, such as this one. This is a Forge World only model, so you're not really cutting out the local game store owner. So in these cases, the game store wouldn't have made any money off of these models anyway, so you're not really affecting your local store. You are just pretty much hitting Games Workshop and Forge World. So there's a morality issue there. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to move past that to some of the other issues. So the other 3 issues we were discussing, we're going to start with cost, because that's the big one everybody worries about. So this Daredeo here, I'm going to move Mr. Chaos Spawn away. I'm going to leave Mr. Daredeo here. This Mr. Daredeo is available on Forge World right now for 125 Canadian. Not with this setup. He actually comes with the heavy las cannons. So if you want this setup in particular, then it's going to cost you $72 for the chassis. I've got them magnetized. It'll cost you $72 for the chassis. It'll cost you another $37, $25 for the rocket launcher, and another $37 for the auto cannons, or butcher cannons, depending if you're chaos or not. I didn't buy it that way. I actually bought this set with the las cannons, and then I bought the extra guns, a plasma cannonade, if you will. So that was a bit of a hefty purchase. You're looking at the better part of $150 plus shipping plus taxes to get the unit that's in front of you. Now, as an aside, I have this box and it's full of Russian tape. It's full of Russian tape because it comes from Russia. And I ordered a Deredeo off of eBay from a seller in Russia. Now, the ad showed boxes just like this. It showed a setup just like this. There's no hint that you're getting a recast until when it arrives. And it looks like that. So you get your base, same as the other base, except not exactly. You get all your parts, very similar to that one. And then you've got your butcher autocannon similar to this. And then you've got your Havoc launcher similar to this right here. Now, as far as price goes, this Deredeo here cost me 73 bucks Canadian plus another 10 bucks shipping. So I'm in for under 80 bucks. And this Deredeo here cost me 150 bucks. They're both made of resin, though this one is far more shinier and plasticier versus this one. But as far as detail goes, we're pretty close. Depending on how picky you are and how critical you are, you can see that most of the details are the same. It's not assemblable, of course, but the tubes and inserts and insets and rivets and details and everything. This one's got some wear and tear because I have played them quite a bit. This is technically a brand new model, but there are places where it's missing. You can see there where this doesn't quite connect. You see there's a gap in there. There's no gap in this one. That's a solid model. This one, it didn't fill all the way. It left a gap in there. So there are some definite quality issues with this, but the difference is about 75 bucks. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but that is definitely what you're looking at when it comes to cost. So as another example, this is Terminator Lord Zuffor. He's available on Forge World. He is a World Eaters HQ unit, and he's Forge World only. Forge World sells this model at $45, which is not outrageous, and then you have to add your taxes and shipping, and so that sort of adds up. I picked him up off of a Chinese eBay recaster, and he cost me $19.66 plus shipping. But I got him tied into another order, so that is a Legion Carbides Assault Claw drop pod. That is a pretty hefty piece of resin. And we'll get more on this when we talk about quality and issues. But I wanted to kind of show you that shipping on this didn't really matter much because I just threw it in on an order for this. So this unit here runs for about $315 US, Canadian on Forge World's website. I picked it up for $154, and shipping was included with the purchase of this, so I saved $150. Now, that's quite a lot of money if you're looking to save stuff. In hindsight, it wasn't the best model in the world. It's not very useful on the table, and it goes down like flames, so it's never really gotten used. It just kind of sits on the desk, and I haven't even bothered to paint it. But it's here, and you can see it, and it is a lot of hunkin' resin. So as far as cost goes, you can save a lot of money if you pick up recasts or aftermarket casts. But some of the things you want to consider, aside from money, are the other things I mentioned. So let's talk about quality for a minute. And you can even look at this model here. And I don't know if you can really tell, it didn't fit together very well at all. I can show you some of the areas here, but you'll see that I had to use quite a lot of filler in these spaces here. You can see the white powdered there, same as in this space over here, same as down at the bottom here, same as where all of these meet. These panels didn't even close to line up at all. This one was on, these ones are off. The model itself, probably not worth what we paid for it. The quality could have been better. A couple of the prongs were broken as well when they arrived, so they had to be re-glued together. And generally speaking, you got pretty much what you paid for. As far as Lord Zuffer works here, he's missing several of the points, several of the skulls. This actually had another piece that hangs down further with another skull. None of it is there. It wasn't cast super well. The shoulder pad here should have a little planet in it, because world leaders should have a little world. The quality of that just isn't there. Same as the one on the leg. I can paint it in and I can make it look good, but you can see the cape here. These aren't clean. These aren't clean molds. These aren't clean cuts. Look, if quality is your issue and you want to do a bang-up job of painting, then the recasts just aren't as nice as the originals, but they are cheaper. So in front of us we have a few different things now. So we have the Lord Zuffer. He's from a Chinese eBay recaster, and he's a little bit yellowish. His resin's definitely a distinct yellowish gray color. I have a Sonic Dreadnought here. So you can see the detail is half decent here, but there are spots that are missing. There are spots that are left out. The catch with this is it is a model that's completely out of print. And so if you want this model, you don't have any choice but to get it from a recaster. So we'll discuss that with morality, but effectively speaking, there are some things you can only get if you get somebody to recast it for you. But you'll see that resin is distinctly different color from this resin. And this one's far more plasticky. And it's different still. And this is your original Forge World resin right here. And you can see the difference in the detail in the kit and the wires. So material-wise, some are more brittle. Lord Zuffer is fairly brittle. His pegs snap off very easy. There was a lot of trouble to re-glue them. These ones I haven't put together yet, obviously. So while you're saving money, you may not be getting exactly what you're hoping for. So that's sort of cost. So let's discuss time. There are two models here. There's two dreadnoughts here. This is the one that I got in from Russia. This is the one that I got in from China. This came through eBay. This came from a website. The interesting thing is that this one was ordered on eBay on February the 7th, February the 17th. And this one was ordered off the website on February the 18th. This one arrived on April the 5th. And this one arrived on April the 8th. So these were ordered 45 days ago, give or take. So as far as time goes, you're not getting these recasts anytime soon unless they have them in stock. For the most part, they're ordered on sale. So as you buy them, then they create them, and you're looking at a month or two turnaround. On top of that, both of them were paid in advance. There was no guarantee in either case that they were going to arrive. In fact, I had expected this one to never arrive. Tracking had lost on it, and it was gone. These ones had good communication, and I tracked it most of the way here. But this one was shipped. This one was originally shipped on February 20th out of Russia, and it was tracked pretty much till it hit the Canadian border, at which case it was March 15th, and then I never heard hide nor hair of it again until it arrived on April the 5th. So you take a lot of chances if you spend a lot of money, because it's all cash up front. So it's a risky thing, which is going back to the other discussion. Is the money you're saving worth what you might lose? Because there is no way to get it back. So in my case, I really wanted this because it's out of print, and I wanted this just literally for this video. I wanted to see how long it took in and how the quality was. But your mileage may vary. In the beginning, I was ordering a few things, such as the drop pod, but that was the mistakes you make when you first start playing and you purchase things that you're never going to run. It's just as you learn to game. So we pretty much talked about time. We pretty much talked about risk, and we pretty much talked about the morality, and we pretty much talked about the cost involved in these things. So would you or should you order stuff from Recasters? The box above you, as you can see, Shadow Spears, Predators, that's the Abaddon, the spoiler box. I order almost exclusively through my local gaming store, unless I want something that's particularly out of print, such as this Noise Marine Dreadnought, which I'm excited to run, and I'll put a painting video up when it comes time to paint him. You can get resin also from normal Games Workshop. I have Fabius Bile, Lucius the Betrayer, and a Corn Herald. And then this is a Cockatrice, because we're going to use that to kit bash the Demon Prince. So I don't know if smaller units are worth both the time and the risk in order for the 20% or 30% of a $40 purchase. As you get into bigger models, it gets to be more of a discussion. But personally, I feel that mainly I'm going to be sticking to things that are out of print, and that's going to be kind of where I go from here. But I wanted to share sort of my history with recasting and sort of the pitfalls I got into. There are some orders that never did come in. There are some orders that came in broken, and you make the best of it. But there is a lot of risk, and it may not be as rewarding as you think. So I hope this video kind of helped you out and gave you some things to think about. There are lots of places where you can get secondary market stuff, used stuff. eBay is great. It may be better to buy used Games Workshop models than to risk getting recasts. The cost-wise is not necessarily a good thing, versus the risk of not getting them. So anyway, that's just a few words I had to say about that. And hopefully this video helps you. And I'll try to get back to painting videos now, which are way more fun. Cheers.